So finally we are going to make a reservation to our backend. It has taken us 18 episodes to get here, and this will probably be next to last episode in this series. The other one is just going to be handling those error messages on your login and registration forms. And we are going to finish this series up. I think 19 to 20 episodes is quite enough for this series. Okay, so in this episode we are going to make an actual reservation to our backend. So we are going to finish the checkout process. So first of all, we are going to go to the builder and add a new table right here, which we are going to be calling reservations. As you will see, this is very similar to the dates table we created. But we are going to add additional fields, and we are not going to be, those dates we created just for testing purposes. So this is going to be actual reservations for our site. So the first column is going to of course be ID, and it's going to be auto incrementing in the primary key. The next thing we want to define is the pickup time. So this is going to be date and time. Next thing is drop off. And it's also going to be date and time, and we want to create two foreign keys, so user ID and vehicle ID. We are not going to be using many-to-many relationship right here because we don't need and then we don't need a pivot table for it, but we are going to add these foreign keys because we are creating a one-to-one relationship between the user and a reservation and the user and the vehicle. So because every reservation can only have one user and one vehicle. So we need to define user ID. User ID is going to be of course integer, and then we define vehicle ID. And it's also going to be an integer, and I'm just going to add timestamp support right here because we need created that and updated that date so that we know when the reservations were created. Save this, save and apply. Okay, now we create our model. Reservation, we use the reservation table and we add timestamp support. Okay, now right here we need to add some fields. You don't technically in the reservation we need to add some fields right here. So you don't technically need to do this because the user is the one that should be creating those reservations via our front end. But you may want to have this option so that you can maybe change that reservation if the need arises. So for the first one we are going to have a date picker, which is going to use the pickup field. And then we also have another date picker, which is going to use the drop-off field. So drop-off. Okay, and now we need to have those two relations. So we use the relation widget and we define our user. So we are not using the field user ID. This is a relation, so we don't want to connect it to the database field, but we want to connect it to our relation. So user, and it's going to be user. Okay, and the next one is going to also be a relation. Where is it? Okay, and this one is going to be called vehicle. And that's about it. Save this. We need to add a list right here. List here for our reservations, and that list is just going to be pickup and drop off time so that we can see it in a list very easily. So pickup, we are going to use that field. It's going to be called pickup and it's going to be date time. And we add another column, drop off, and it's also going to be date time. Save this. Okay, now we go to the backend menu. We add a new menu which we are going to be calling reservations. and we don't know the URL yet, but I'm going to change the icon to be ticket, right? And that's about it. Save this, go to the controllers, and we want to create a controller which is going to be using the reservation model. We are going to define this, and we are going to put list controller behavior, form controller behavior. Okay, save this, go to the backend menu again, and now this will autocomplete. So reservations, save it, and I think that's about it. Let's just refresh this page. Go to vehicles, go to reservations, and now as you can see we can create a reservation. Now because we still didn't define the user, we can't actually create it. So right now we need to define that relation between the user and the reservation and the vehicle and the reservation. Now you go to your API, plugins, watch learn, models, and you open up reservation.php model, and you define that relationship right here. So it's going to be belongs to relationship or one-to-one. So, and now we are going to define a relationship for our vehicle, which is just going to call the model watch learn view rent a car models vehicle. So this is our vehicle model, and the next one is going to be a relationship for our user, which is just going to be the user plugin from RainLab. Okay, save this, and that should be it. So we created this relationship. Now we go to our browser and try to refresh this page. Right, so now it works. Okay, so let's add some dates right here. So 12 o'clock, and the drop-off time is going to be March 28th, also 12 o'clock, and the user is John. Since we don't have any more users, as you can see, you can only choose John. And for the vehicle, we are going to choose, well, nothing, because we are not getting any names right here, but as you can see we have those vehicles here. So I'm just going to choose this one, create it, and we are going to try to fix this, because I think we should just go to models. For the reservations we go to our forms, and for the vehicle, right here in the relation it's expecting a name column, but we don't have it, so the name column is title for our vehicles. Title. Okay, save this. Let's go to vehicles, reservations, and now when we click on this reservation, now we get all those vehicles. Okay, great. So when making a new reservation, this should now work. Great. Okay, so we created our reservation, the reservation works, and now we need to create a route in PHP that will actually create this reservation. So we go to our plugin and go to routes.php, make this bigger, and now I'm going to create that route. So the route is going to be route post, and we are going to be calling it create reservation, and it's going to be a function request. Okay, so in this route we are going to create a reservation, and to do that first of all we need to use the reservation model. So I'm just going to use it at the top of the file right here. And now I'm just going to go, where is it? Okay, so it's here. So now I'm just going to create a new reservation and get all the data that I need from the front end. So we create reservation, which is going to be new reservation. Okay, And now I'm just going to paste in some code so that I don't have to write everything out. So the reservation is going to take from the request that we are sending it pickup time, drop off time, user ID, and the vehicle ID, right? And after that, we wanna save that reservation. Reservation, save. And we wanna send a response or reservation created. And that should be our PHP side of things handled. Next thing we need to do, we need to create make reservation method in our confirmation.vue and in our store and send that data to this route. Now in our confirmation.vue we need to create methods, and the method that we are creating is going to be called make reservation. And right here I'm just going to paste this in. So we already did something like this when we were creating, actually when we were logging our users and registering them. So we define new URL search params, and then we define our data. So the user ID and the vehicle ID is coming from our computed properties, and we need to define this.pickup.original. Because remember, we created for the pickup times and the drop-off times to be an object with formatted and original dates. So original, and the same thing is for the drop-off. This drop-off original. I pasted this in with just pickup and drop-off because, as you will see, these dates will probably not work. So we are going to need to transform them once more. But okay. And the next thing we need to do, so when a button is clicked, which we still haven't created that button, when the button is clicked, then we wanna dispatch all of this data to the store. So I'm just going to, what am I doing right here? So I need to be here. Okay, so this store dispatch, and we are going to call the method in the store also make reservation, and we are sending it reservation data, right? So this is our reservation data. Okay, so this is done. We need to create a button which will say make reservation, right? So I'm just going to paste it in right here below our data. Save this. Let's just check out our application. Oh, we still didn't even go here. So New York pickup time is going to be today. Okay, drop off time is going to be on the 30th. Okay, filter vehicles, more details, continue. We need to log in right now, so log in, and now we get our data. So the pickup time is on the 26th, the drop off is on the 30th, and now we have this make reservation button right here. Okay, so next thing we need to do, we need to create make reservation method in our store. So now below login user in our store.js, I'm going to create make reservation method. And of course we are receiving reservation data right here. So now I'm just going to paste this in because we did this a million times. So we are posting reservation data to the create reservation route that we just created in our routes.php, and hopefully we will get that data right here and create a reservation. So now let's test this out, but it won't work probably. Let's save it. Maybe it works, who knows, but it probably won't. So if we click make reservation right now, as you can see, we are getting some errors. And if we go to the network tab and see the preview, first of all, we are getting page not found. So I probably screwed something up. We go to PHP Storm routes, create reservation. Okay. So I screwed that up. Let's see what else I screwed up. Let's make a reservation again. Now if we check out the error, it says that the watch learn view rent API models reservation was not found. Now this is because I copy and paste things in, which is probably not a good idea when you're doing that from the test project that I have installed, and some things are different. So as you can see, I'm not using the right model right here, which I didn't notice before. So this should be like this, and this should be like this. So let's save this and let's check out if we get any more errors. So we get undefined property, and I know exactly what this is because I just saw it right here. So I for some reason commented this request right here, so I'm just going to save this and let's try it again. So don't copy and paste things anymore. Okay, so make reservation. Now I hope I will get the error that I'm actually looking for. So let's check this out. Okay, so it now says that something is undefined, and that something is probably the date. So please see the detailed incorrect date time value, right? So we are sending the date that we are getting from our store, but this date, although similar to October's, is actually not correct. So we are going to correct that, and we go to PHP Storm or your code editor, confirmation.vue, and I'm just going to paste this code in. So because there's no problem with pasting code in at all, but let's hope this works. So we are getting we are creating pickup and drop of variables, which is going to take our original date, so from our computed properties, and then format them to the October date. So this is the date type that October will actually accept. Okay, and then right here we should just do pickup, and right here we should just do drop off. And now let's hope this works. Let's go to the Chrome and let's check out our console, make reservation, and as you can see we get the response that the reservation has been created. If we go to our vehicles, reservations, we currently have 3 because I created one behind the scenes, but as you can see we get the reservation right here. So if I do it again, not this but this, as you can see this is another same reservation that was created. So if you check it out, you can see that the user is John, the vehicle is DeLorean, the pickup is on the 26th, and the drop-off is on the 30th. And this works. Okay, so this is all well and good, but what about our token? What are users? So this route that we are currently using right here in routes.php is not protected, and this route, right, is not protected, and actually anyone could make a reservation. So we need to protect that route and authorize it. So we are going to be doing that right now. Now in our routes.php, first of all, I'm just going to uncomment this because we may need it. And then right here above the create reservation route, I'm just going to create a route with a middleware, and that middleware we are getting from JVT plugin. So we do something like route middleware, and then we define JVT auth, and this is going to be a group of routes which we pass a function, and that's about it. Okay, so we created a group of routes. Actually, we didn't create group because I just did this. Okay, so group of routes. So anything you put in here will be protected with JWT authentication. So let's test it out. Let's take this route and paste it in here, right? Save this and let's try to make a reservation right now. So and see what we get. So if I click make reservation, now as you can see we are getting 401 unauthorized error because we are not authorized to access that route. So to access it we actually need to send the token that we got when we logged in into our application, and we are saving that token in the token field in our store, which we did in the previous episode. So let's try to do that, but now with the token. Now in our store.js we need to create a variable which we are going to be calling authorization, and this is going to be something that we pass to Axios. So const authorization is equal to an object, and in that object we have something called headers. You can read Axios documentation for this. So we are passing some headers to our request. So headers, and we need to create authorization header, which is going to be bearer, and then you do space between this, and then you do plus, and then you should send a token. So we have the token in our store, so we just do this dot state dot token, and now we are sending that token. Actually we are not sending it because we need to send it like this. So reservation data, and then you would send your headers or any other configuration for Axios. So authorization. Okay, so now we are sending that token that we are getting from the user to our route, and let's hope this works. Save it and try to make a reservation again. So something went wrong, of course. So I hate to do this and I hate to finish this video like this. But I found the solution to this problem. It's not very pretty. The problem with this, at least for me, the biggest one was that all of this worked on my test site. And now doing it here on this site, it doesn't work for some reason. Then I spent hours looking for discrepancies between my site, actually this site, and the test site. And the only thing I could come up with was that I installed this plugin on the test site just to see what it does and so on while testing and preparing for the videos. And it turns out that actually this plugin for some reason enables this to work. So this plugin has nothing to do with the JWT plugin. JWT plugin obviously has some big issues with cores. And this plugin enables cores. Actually, it when you install it and run composer update, as you can see, installs this Berry VDH Laravel cores, which is the most popular cores plugin for Laravel, and I think actually this makes it work. So to install this plugin, just follow this information right here. So you would download the plugin. You can't install it through the plugin manager, and then you would run composer update in the root of your project, and that's about it. And now if I go right here and make a reservation, as you can see, the reservation works. Our code is still the same. So this is our store, this is our routes. And if I, for example, go to forklift, so when you need to download the plugin, and then you need to unzip it into your API plugins, and you get this Octobro directory with API in it. So with it, it works. But if I delete it and go to my site, Now it doesn't work. We get the same error. So there are obviously issues with JWT plugin for October. I'm going to talk to Ricardo about this, and hopefully this will work out of the box. But for now, install the plugin I showed you, and I will leave a link in the description. So let's make it work again. I'm going to just copy it from my test site right here, so we have it again. And if I make a reservation, then it works. If we check out our backend, as you can see, the reservations have been created. So, not a very good end to this video and practically this series, because I will probably make just one more video about this, and that will be handling error requests, but once Ricardo fixes the JWT plugin. In the meantime, there is another JWT plugin which you could use. I tested it out and it actually works, but the problem with that plugin is it doesn't add name and surname to your users when when registering users. So you would have to do that yourself. But that plugin will probably work out of the box. As I said, I will leave this link in the description below so you can download it, just install it, and then this will work for you. Okay, so this is it for this video. Remember, everything we did here will be available for you on GitHub. The link will be in the description below. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.